99-cent rental.
This is 99 Cent Rental. I'm your host, Brian White. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Dave White. Hey, Dave, how you doing over there?
Hi. Oh, hi. Yeah, I'm okay. Heard a little story. A little story about the news.
Yeah?
Last night, Washington, D.C. A little bit of a kerfuffle.
Yeah.
Kerfuffle happening. I think it is fucking insane that we live in a country where all of the crazy conspiracy theories are totally plausible at this point.
Yeah, it's like the lathe of heaven. Everybody just kind of spoke this shit. You say it enough, you speak it into existence.
Yeah, it's like, well, was this an inside job? Is this a false flag? Is this a distraction? Yeah, all of them.
My favorite sort of right-wing conspiracy theory is that this was all a false flag ploy to prove that we need the ballroom.
I do like that one, and that's what I mean. Is it insane? Absolutely. Is it possible? Yeah.
Yeah, it totally is.
He is that obsessed with the ballroom. Wouldn't solve the problem. You know what would be better is if he wasn't such a piece of shit that people wanted to kill him.
I think he's the most assassination attempted president in the United States history. I think a normal person would reflect on that.
We did it, Joe. I mean, what a heady time we live in.
It's so weird. It's so fucking weird. Yeah. No, I heard about that last night and I was like, And you would think that like my reaction would be like, oh God, not again. But my reaction initially was, can nobody put a bead on this guy?
Seriously. It's the third fucking time.
I'm starting to think that he is actually under divine protection.
Well, you know what? And that's why I don't like to give in to conspiratorial thinking. But it just seems a little too convenient.
Yeah. My next question. Did that guy try to do this naked or did they take his clothes off? Because both situations are fucking strange.
I was also wondering that when I saw that picture today, and I thought, why is he nude?
Because apparently he was butt naked at some point in the takedown, in the process of this.
It seems like, if that's the case, it seems like maybe someone's having a rough time. He got an idea. Not a very good one, but he got an idea. And he went with it. God bless him, you know? Kids these days, not a lot of follow through. This guy?
Fully committed.
Good stark naked trying to kill the president.
stark raving nude.
Wow. What a time. What a weekend.
It's that old Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. It's like, I don't think the times can get much more interesting than this.
Nope, but you know what? They're gonna.
No, there's also the recent claim that Iran's oil pump system is under such tremendous strain that in 3 days they will explode.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, it won't happen. But it's a remarkable thing to start like spouting to the press like moments after your latest assassination attempt.
This is an official claim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from the man himself.
See, here's the thing. He just says stuff. He doesn't know where it came from. It's the equivalent of ripping off all your clothes and trying to kill somebody. It's the same thing.
Fucking A. God damn it.
Yeah, and hey, we haven't even reached the midterms yet.
We are not even 2 years into this shit. I'm so tired. I'm so fucking tired. Though I was kind of thinking about it. Remember like this time last year where like everybody had just sort of resigned?
Yeah.
And like, we're like, well, you know, I guess we have to give him $16 million because he said so.
Yeah. And you're honestly, how bad could it really be? And the answer is holy shit.
Yeah. And then everybody just kind of like, just sort of rolled over and showed their bellies and like got rid of all their DEI programs and all that shit. And then like all of this crazy bullshit's happening and we seem to be on a sort of progressive upswing. I feel pretty good about that.
Imagine if they didn't give him what he wanted originally, though. How much crazier it would be. This is him getting what he wants.
I gotta wonder, like, if they didn't, if everybody was just like, fuck you, get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck are you? Would things be that much different?
Yeah, just be like, dude, you are a fucking loser. You gotta get out of here.
Yeah. No, though some of my favorite like right-wing photography came from that experience. Apparently, Kash Patel ran away, leaving his girlfriend holding the hand of another man.
Nice.
And there's
fucking amazing.
There's a really great photo of Stephen Miller cowering behind his pregnant wife.
Love it. Beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful stuff came out of this. It's pretty.
I'm gonna get those framed.
But you know what? We're gonna get that ballroom. We're gonna get that ballroom, baby.
God damn it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's hard to explain to someone who never had the experience what a trip to the video store was like back in the day. The shelves were choked with absolutely bizarre crap made on tiny budgets, completely divorced from any recognizable reality. And it was the best. We intend to talk about every one of them. Just before we get into it, a little housekeeping. If you want to keep up with us between episodes, you can also find us on Instagram at Bring Me the Axe Pod. Dave's over there at that Queer Wolf.
True.
Yeah, give us a follow. Give us a follow.
Yeah.
Keep up with all the goings on. I rolled out the latest social meds related to my latest community theater production.
Oh, what's that? What's that all about?
Songs of Viridia.
I thought you were going to say talk radio.
No, it's not talk radio. This is basically this is basically talk radio. What we be doing. It's like if you are a Dungeons and Dragons person and you are familiar with like Critical Role or.
I saw this now.
Yeah,
I remember
20-sided tavern, that sort of thing. That's the live Dungeons and Dragons experience. It's like that. It's like a really, really streamlined stage production worthy version of that. It's all live improv and fantasy role play.
Do you dress up in costumes?
No. I have a shirt that has my character's name on it, so everybody knows who I am.
What about a Viking helmet?
I probably could get away with that.
Okay. What about a battle axe?
My character does not use weapons.
No, that's less fun.
I've mystically imbued, divine imbued bracers, which when I clench my fists, my arms
like Wonder Woman.
My arms turn to stone.
Do you get a lasso too?
I don't have a lasso. I should get a lasso.
And an invisible plane.
Let's not get into copyright infringement territory here. They're DC very litigious.
That's true.
Yeah. But over there at those accounts, keep up with everything we got going on. We got a lot of shit happening, a bunch of podcasts. It's where you hear all about the latest business. And if you don't know, we got another show called Bring Me the Axe. Our latest episode covering Night School is out now. It's a real Bostonian giallo.
Fucking A.
It's right, kid. It's a good episode. It's a good episode. We'll be back next week with a look at The Wicker Man. Right in time for May Day.
Corn rigs and barley rigs. Barley rigs are bonny.
Walpurgis Nacht if you're nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You can also contact us directly at 99centrentalpod@gmail.com with any questions, comments, or suggestions. Do let us know if there's a cheesy movie that you love. Would like to hear us give it the business. And don't sleep on Laughing in the Dark. It's our Are You Afraid of the Dark rewatch pod. It's fun. It's two of us laughing in the dark.
Yep.
With our friend Eileen Clark from Movie KRR. And Mikey from The Rewatcher. You love The Rewatcher. You love that morbid shit.
Mm-hmm.
So come on down.
Yeah.
We have a lot of laughs. It's a good time. It's a funny fucking show. And if you would like to support us on Patreon, you can look us up over there at patreon.com/bringmetheaxepod. There's a couple of tiers you can join there. All paying members get ad-free episodes. Subscribers at the $5 a month tier can look forward to our bi-weekly X-Files rewatch pod, Do You Think I'm Spooky? The latest episode is a look at the season 2 episode Colony. It's a good one. A pivotal moment in the X-Files myth arc.
It's when it all comes together.
Yeah, we got alien bounty hunters and alien clones and alien blood.
That bounty hunter got fucking cheekbones for days.
He's been bone smashing, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
There's also our monthly Bring Me the Axe Millennium Edition, which is a bonus episode in which we explore a modern horror movie. The current episode is a look at The Others. And we are mere days away from the next episode, released on the first of the month. We're going to be watching Green Room.
Ooh, y'all, it was a violent movie that I was not expecting to be quite so violent.
So get on that shit. Subscribe. All Patreon subscribers, even the free tier, get access to our Discord server. Paying members get access to additional channels, voice and video chats, and the watch parties option, which, drop in, watch Monday's movie with us ahead of time on Friday nights.
Did you watch this one?
We did not watch this one. I had a late rehearsal.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, but we'll be on this Friday for the next movie. And once again, that's patreon.com/bringmetheaxepod. And lastly, if you like what you hear, you can subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube, so search us by name and subscribe if you prefer to consume your podcast that way. If you're a YouTube music listener in particular, that's kind of where this comes in handy. Because people be a little confused. They show up and they're like, "Where's the video?" And it's like, well, it's...
Listen, you guys really want to watch video of us? We're just sitting here.
There is so much pressure to add a video component to like every podcast now. Like Apple Podcasts is now pushing that shit super hard. Spotify practically requires it. Not ever going to happen, but I am dying to know. I'm desperate to know, like, what is the value add if you were able to just sit here, watch us sitting at our desks?
I mean, I am a fairly animated person. There's a lot of flailing like a Moment Sean's puppet.
Yeah. I think video might benefit laughing in the dark simply because Eileen is very physical.
Yes, she is.
But it's literally the two of us sitting at a desk talking into microphones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You'd be doing us a favor by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And if you listen on YouTube, do us a favor, give the episode a like and leave a comment. We love hearing from you guys. Takes but a moment.
Yeah.
Takes but a moment. Helps us out, costs you nothing.
Say nice things. Tell us why you want to see video.
I'll
do it. If people want to, I'll do it. I don't care, but it's not going to be that exciting.
It'd be such a hassle. I don't know if I'd be able to turn the episodes around. Like, we'd have to like change our schedules and shit because I wouldn't be able to turn the episodes around.
This is off the table. I take it back.
Yeah, as quickly as I do, Yep. We're just getting all out of the way right at the top of the show so we can hit you with the trailer of tonight's feature. Here we go.
My name is Martin. I'm 84 years old. People think I'm crazy when I tell them how old I am. I'd like to be normal. I just have a sickness. The only way I can survive is by drinking blood. It's not easy living the way I do. I have to be careful all the time. But I'm pretty good at it. I think as I get older, I get better. I haven't been caught yet.
Martin, another kind of terror.
You see, people don't understand what's wrong. They think that I'm a monster. They think I'm a vampire. People don't realize that those things I see in the movies are not real. I don't have a whole lot of women. It's nice to watch them. I watch them a lot all the time. I have to be sure that nothing goes wrong. I follow them. I plan. I'm very careful. I have needles now. I can use them. I can put them to sleep. And it doesn't hurt.
Martin, another kind of terror.
I would like to be like everyone else. I have to do things that I don't necessarily like to do, but I want to stay alive. I do need blood.
From the director of Night of the Living Dead, Martin, another kind of terror.
Ooh.
Watch out for Martin, coming soon.
If I saw that trailer, I would not know what to make of it.
I don't know either. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Apparently, there was originally the intention of this movie was intended to have him sort of voiceovering everything,
which would have gotten old so fucking fast.
Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment. Where are you at on this one?
I like this movie very much.
I think this might be my favorite Romero movie.
It is, including the Dead movies.
Yeah. No. Well, no. I think I said this in our last episode. This is my favorite non-zombie Romero movie.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to say same, probably. I like this movie very much. I don't really know why. It is an extremely hard movie to pin down.
It's so opaque, and it has the worst pace.
Oh, it's insane. It like starts off with this like really aggressive opening, and then it is just a slog for like an hour.
Yeah. It is a full 30 minutes before he says literally before he says anything. So once we get past that sort of intro section on the train, 30 minutes goes past before he says another word. Yeah.
It's a very odd. This is a movie that could never have been made by a studio.
Nope.
They never would have made a movie like this because it is not really specific to any one genre. That's why I stuffed it into this category, because it's like it's sort of a horror movie, but not really.
Not really. I think it's as much of a horror movie as Green Room is, like where we kind of struggled with the same thing. It's extremely arty in a way that his other movies are not. It's so strange. Like there are times in this where I was like, this could have been like, I mean, if it were in French, this could have been a French New Wave movie.
So that's my first note about this movie, is that this does not feel like an American movie circa 1977. It feels European.
Yeah.
It is not really a coherent story. And you get to the end and you're like, how about that?
It has this it has this like super raw, verite quality that reminded me very heavily of Ganja and Hess.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that might just have to do with the setting, because it takes place in the bleakest fucking place on earth.
Oh man, it is like a Bruce Springsteen song.
Off one of his sad records.
Yeah, it's like all you see is just like empty lots and like cars being crushed.
Yeah.
And everybody's fucking mean.
I have a feeling that this is a movie that like originally he had an entirely different intention for this movie, and I think that when he sort of retooled it based on the cast that he was able to pull together, it came together in a way that I think that we were sort of getting the full Romero with this. Like I think that this movie is highly reflective of his outlook, just in general, his sense of humor. It's extremely black. It's really, and there's a bleakness and a bitterness about it.
Yeah, this is an angry movie
that feels really, really consistent with just everything that we've seen with Romero up to this point.
And that probably has something to do with the fact that like after he did Night of the Living Dead, and it sort of slowly picks up steam and it is getting more kind of notoriety, he kept trying to like capitalize on that, and everything he tried just kind of failed.
Well, yeah, like his intention was to break away and make like serious films. You know, there's always Vanilla, Season of the Witch, which is also not really a horror movie. It is in the sense that it has some sort of horror adjacency, but like he was very much trying to make like dramas and shit, like with a little bit of a sense of humor about them, but also.
And this movie does this. I laughed several times during this. There are moments that are pretty funny.
Yeah, I feel like but like I said, I feel like we're getting the real George Romero with this one. Like everything else,
it's a messy movie.
Yeah, it's so fucking messy, but it's still like I come out the other end, and I'm puzzled. I like it so much, but I'm sort of at a loss to explain why, and so I guess we'll kind of get there in the process of this episode.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. So here's some interesting information, some facts, you might say.
Oh.
The year was 1977, year of our Lord.
Yes.
So here's some other movies released in 1977. The Hills Have Eyes came out that year.
Not a very good movie.
I disagree. I like that movie a lot. I think it's pretty fucking good.
I mean, I'll watch it. I'll put it on anytime, but I don't like it.
Gross and bleak as hell.
Yep. Another movie made by someone who is pretty angry and trying to break away from horror.
We've also got Suspiria.
Ooh, I love that movie.
That's a very good movie. I like that one quite a bit. Little Dario Argento. Also in 77, not very good, but enjoyable nonetheless, Tentacles.
It's a classic. It's a classic of the genre.
You get Shelley Winters in Crazy Hats.
Mm-hmm. Playing a young woman? Question mark.
Yep. Also in 77, Kathy's Curse.
Ooh, that is a strange film.
Yeah. We should do that one. Was it Severin put that out? They put a pretty good version of that one out.
Nope. I got it somewhere.
And then closing it out, Kurt Harrington's Ruby came out that year.
Not a good movie at all. Love Kurt Harrington. That movie sucks.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Of all the Carrie knockoffs, it is probably the most uninspired.
Damn. All right. Well, our director, as we said, was George A. Romero in his first feature since 1974's The Crazies. Between this and that, he directed that strange elder abuse short, The Amusement Park.
That's not really a short, though. That movie's like an hour and 15 minutes long.
It is. So I think it is technically a feature at that length.
Have you ever seen it?
No, I've not seen it.
It is extremely strange. And you come away with it just feeling bad. Feeling real sad about stuff.
No, I have seen that. I have seen that one.
Where it's just an old man and everyone's being mean to him for an hour and a half.
Yeah. That old man is Lincoln Mazel, who plays Tatakuda in this movie. Mm-hmm. He also did a few episodes of a TV show called The Winners, which was an episodic series about contemporary athletes, and a documentary called O.J. Simpson, The Juice on the Loose.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Hey, that doesn't age well, does it?
No, it does not. Upon this movie's release, he'll take a tour of the Monroeville Mall and make a significant change to horror as we know it 1 year later. I believe, as we said, we are finding Romero at his most bleak in this picture.
Yeah.
Yep. Our cast includes John Amplas, who's
surprisingly good. It's weird that he did not really have a film career.
It's weird as hell because after this, he just ends up in tiny roles and like production roles. In other Romero
don't forget
movies.
his amazing turn in Dawn of the Dead.
Wear a little shoe polish on the face, darken him up.
Soul Man.
He does look like C. Thomas Howell in the Soul Man.
No good.
My God. But yeah, like after that, it's like he's in Knight Riders. He's basically in everything up to the Dark Half, which is like a demarcation point for Romero's studio period.
Yeah. I think he's really good in this. He is extremely awkward. He plays the character so well because he looks very young. Mm-hmm. And so he comes across as very young, very innocent. He has sort of like big, wide eyes.
Yeah.
And they're always like wide open. He's always chewing on his fucking finger though. And it's like, I kept being like, get your hand out of your mouth. You're going to get COVID.
Yeah. So the character was supposed to be an actual vampire who was played by a much older man trying to make his way in the modern world as a normal guy. But upon seeing Amplas in a Pittsburgh production of Philemon, he retooled the entire script around Amplas and this entirely new idea that makes this movie vastly more interesting than his original vision.
But I would imagine also that is why it doesn't make a lot of sense, because to do what he wanted to do, he would have had to rewrite the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so trying to keep the elements of the vampire legend in the story while also telling us that Martin is not a vampire, it's like, well, then what the fuck is all of this stuff? Like, that's what makes it confusing. It's also what makes it kind of interesting, but it makes it a little bit incoherent because you're like, I don't understand. He knows he's not a vampire, but also he thinks he's a vampire.
Yeah. So those are some themes that we can hash out as we talk about it, because that's really what lies at the heart of this movie is Kuda is this character who insists that he's a vampire, but he's not. But at the same time, he's still a monster.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So until the Dark Half in 1993, Amplas only worked in Romero and John Russo projects while working stage between New York and Pittsburgh. Nowadays, he works on the occasional low-budget regional piece of trash while teaching at Point Park College.
All right.
Yeah.
Respectable.
Yeah. We got Christine Forrest, whom Romero met on the set of Season of the Witch, and like Amplis, became a regular and eventually his wife in 1981. Mm-hmm. Appearing in various roles in most but not all of Romero's features until 1993's The Dark Half, which was his last feature for some time. They were married until 2010, and she can be seen working together with a TV control board with him in Day of the Dead.
She's not so good in this.
She's all right. She
gets the job done, but
yeah. And then lastly, in the cast, Tom Savini, sans mustache. A legendary pioneer of movie special effects and my arch nemesis.
That's right. This is their first movie together.
Yep, it is. Like, this is the first time we see him do that, like, in-camera special effects shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Savini set an extremely high bar for practical in-camera special effects. A combat photographer in Vietnam, he used the medium of film to separate himself and cope with the horror of the carnage that he was documenting. The element of his work that set Tom apart from his contemporaries was his ability to stage a violent effect as it happens, not something that you often saw in horror movies. Violence on film would often be pantomimed and the aftermath shown on screen, but Savini could build elaborate rigs to show the violence in explicit detail as it's committed, and he often did it fast and on the cheap.
Corn rigs and barley rigs and Savini rigs.
And Savini rigs and barley rigs.
Mm-hmm.
As his budgets rose, his work got better and his profile rose, often acting in small roles in the movies he was often doing effects for. He's also a stuntman.
What can't he do?
Yeah. Well, be nice to his fans, apparently.
Yeah, be a decent person, I guess.
Yeah, for a little, I'm not gonna fucking bother explaining that shit. But if you want the deets, go back to our Maniac episode and do mind the terrible audio. But yeah, about the 54 minutes mark in that episode, I tell a very long and weird story about how that man eventually came to yell at me over Facebook on Christmas Eve in 2011.
Everybody's got hobbies.
So Martin began as a bit of a horror comedy in Romero's imagination. His original vision saw Martin as a real vampire whose aristocratic legacy was gone, spent long ago and sold off with the old family castle. Nowadays, he has to hide out in the city, making money through illegal activity, the only way as an undead creature can.
So he's basically like, let's make a feature-length version of Kolchak the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
So don't do it. We don't need it. This was a huge era for vampire. There were so many fucking vampire movies in the 70s. Probably more than any other horror movie.
Yeah. I mean, when you figure there's a lot of like the worst Christopher Lee Hammer movies. Mm-hmm. Jean Rollin busts a new one out like every
This
month.
is his most fertile period.
Yeah.
You've got all the AIP vampire stuff, the Count Yorga, Death Master, or whatever that one was called. Where he plays like the cult leader vampire. It's basically Count Yorga.
Yeah. Is it still the same guy?
Yep.
Robert Quarry?
Yep.
Yeah, what else? God damn, because there is a shitload of them.
Vampire Lovers.
Frank Langella vampire. Frank Langella Dracula. I think that's 79.
There's Vampire Lovers, Satanic Rites of Dracula, obviously, Hammer ones. Yeah, they're just fucking everywhere. The whole decade was lousy with vampires.
Yeah, Vampire Circus, which is really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So reduced to being just this guy, his status as a monster is also gone, and he struggles to evoke fear in people that he preys on for food. So that was the original premise of this movie. So upon meeting John Amplis, he reimagined the entire project as a conflict between monsters real and imagined. In the film, Kuda goes to great lengths to thwart and contain an imaginary monsters. For reasons never explained, Kuda, an extension of Martin's European family, believes that members of their family are vampires, which Martin categorically is not. But there are monsters in this world, and he is definitely one of them. To find the vibe, Romero researched real-life murderers and came upon the Sonny Bean family, a Scottish legend of a family of freaks who lived in a cave reachable only at low tide.
I'm pretty sure this is not a true story.
No, I think that it was sort of a tale that was told back in the day was eventually
to warn
documented.
travelers.
Essentially, but there's I don't think there's any actual truth to it.
No, I don't believe so.
But it's still a pretty heinous story, and it's been used for decades to make other horror movies. Like the Hills Have Eyes is based on it. That episode Home of the X-Files is based on it.
It's interesting because there is a weird authenticity to this. So this movie is made in 75, 76.
76, yeah.
And so this is like peak serial killer era. Just like peak vampire, peak serial killer.
They all over the place.
And it unfolds very much in the way that a lot of those stories do unfold. Those true crime stories. I know a thing or two about them. And they all sort of have a template to them because people are people. And this really does feel like he's modeling it on a sort of modern day serial killer, even though he probably wouldn't have. He couldn't have been.
Right,
that information wouldn't have been out
They
there.
weren't documenting him like that, but like he's kind of got this shit on lock.
This is 3 years before, 4 years, I think, before Richard Chase in Sacramento, who basically does this. This is exactly what he does.
Yeah.
In a much worse and much more heinous way.
Yeah.
But
like,
I urge
Martin
you people do not look it up.
Martin has he has a pathology. He stalks them. He watches them. He effectively hunts them. He has,
and yet he won't really admit that to himself. That's what I think is super interesting about this is that it's, Romero takes this character and he's like, he's going to be this sort of expression of the darker parts of ourselves. The idea that like everybody sort of has this capacity and you can't expunge this from humanity. So you have to learn to like understand it and figure out how to live with it.
Yeah,
Not to this extent.
I have the actual quote right here. He said, Martin is designed so that all those supernatural monsters that are part of our literary tradition are, in essence, expurgations of ourselves. That's a real fucking fancy word. Mm-hmm. They are beasts we've created in order to exorcise the monster from within us. I tried to show in Martin that you can't just slice off this evil part of ourselves and throw it away. It's a permanent part of us, and we'd better try to understand it.
Yeah, I mean, and he does this. He presents this in a way that it's not treated with flippancy or as like a cheeky gimmick. He genuinely wants the audience to consider the predicament that Martin is in and to sort of decide for ourselves whether he is deserving of sympathy or scorn. And this is a very strange quality in a movie, mostly because it doesn't really, it doesn't work very often.
Because I think one of my, it's not really a complaint. It's just an observation that I think is really one of the most interesting things about this is even in like horror movies like this, like even in the thinnest of them, they give you somebody that you're supposed to kind of cling to as a surrogate, somebody that you can sympathize with, even just a little bit. This movie does not have that in any way. There is nobody in this movie that you can sympathize with.
I think you can recognize Martin as a sympathetic character, but you can't sympathize with him because he's so fucking weird. And on top of that, he's extremely violent.
Yeah.
And it happens in these explosive bursts. But I do think it's interesting that he presents this character as like, this is just a thing I have to do to survive. But it becomes very clear towards the end, like, oh no, you're just a serial killer. Like you have a methodology to all of this and you won't really acknowledge it.
No,
like
he's
got eventually at the end, he says it's sexual, but
he has a ritual in the way that as those things become revealed and published in like, salacious true crime books, like his method is very much like a real serial killer. It's fucking weird as hell, man.
Yeah. Like you would probably be able to sympathize with him if he weren't a murderer.
Yeah. Because
he is like, everyone's super mean to him. And he's
even the ladies at the grocery store,
no shit, right?
Yelling at him.
Like he's really awkward. He's super uncomfortable with everybody, and like people are just really cruel to him. But also, he goes out and kills people.
right. Apparently, the Sawney Bean clan. Just to kind of finish that thought out, the whole thing was. Low tide, they would come out of their cave. They were all a bunch of like hillbilly mutants. They were inbred after generations, and they would rob, murder, and then like eat the people that they killed. That was the whole story.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
1500s, I think, 1600s.
Hard times.
It's a tough age. It really was. But yeah, this is Romero's favorite of his own movies.
I can see it. It's got something.
Yeah.
It's very, very different as films go, as horror movies go, as Romero's movies go, as non-horror movies go. It has something that is the sort of ineffable thing that I think we're both just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why do I like this movie? You know who else liked this? Dario Argento.
Yeah, he did. This was the movie that put him in touch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He did.
So the original cut was nearly 3 hours long.
No, thanks.
No, which
I'm
seems,
good.
honestly, this kind of seems to me, because we've experienced this with Romero in other sort of projects as well, where I think that what he does is he starts out with a very big, very impractical, like first draft cut, and then kind of works it down from there.
Yeah, he is definitely interesting in that I think he benefited so much from the people around him who kept him from making bad choices. And, you know, like, you think about all the stuff, like, think about the fucking long cut of Dawn of the Dead. Like, he just seems to have a really hard time winnowing down his stories.
Yeah.
He just makes these massive things that are really unwieldy.
I think left to his own devices, he would release these movies in their sort of like huge epic length cuts and then just be like, what? When like people are like, what the fuck, dude? I don't have 3 hours to watch a Martin.
And also, you don't need that much Martin in your life.
Right. Or like a fucking 2.5 hour version of Dawn of the Dead. But like, it's like John Russo and Richard Rubinstein were the guys who were sort of like more business minded, who were like
Richard Rubinstein just sweeping in to help everybody.
Yeah, just can't, like, we cannot possibly release a movie that long, George.
Well, he also wanted to make the whole thing in black and white, and Rubinstein was like, I don't think that's a good idea. People aren't going to want to watch that.
Right. Yeah. Good God. I can't imagine what that movie would have looked like.
So I've never seen, Argento has his own cut of this that was released in Italy.
Vampire, it's called.
Vampire, that's right. Yep. With a score by Goblin.
I looked at the list.
It's actually not a score. It's Roller.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like Cherry 5 stuff instead of Goblin.
Well, it's their album. It's the Goblin album Roller.
Okay. Yeah.
So good, but you know, it's not new.
But I listened to that, you know, on its own. It's a good record.
Yep.
Lastly, Soft Cell have a 10-minute song about this movie called Martin.
Well, how about it?
It's one of 2 10-minute songs on their 1983 record, The Art of Falling Apart.
I'm going to go out on a limb. Say something bold.
What's that?
I don't think they're a good band.
No shit. Because I think they are. You heard Sex Dwarf?
Sex Farm Woman? What?
The song Sex Dwarf. It's on the first record. It's very, very funny.
Can't say that I have.
Oh yeah, Sex Farm Woman. Prowling in your peach patch. Poking your hay.
Oh God.
Bothering your livestock. So where did this movie land critically?
Well, they felt about as conflicted as we do.
Yeah, I'm sure that they were like, what the fuck? There's something here, but what is it?
I'm going to kick you off with Jack Croft from The Old Gray Lady That Is Newsweek.
Okay.
Martin is one of the most original horror movies in years. A scary, ironic variation on the Dracula theme. Romero has become a dazzling stylist. His balance of wit and horror is the best since Hitchcock. Okay, calm down, buddy. I don't know about that.
Boy, wait till you see Dawn of the Dead.
That's true. San Francisco Examiner. A suspense thriller about a modern-day teenage vampire full of obvious psychological and sociological points, but it has an unsuitable comic book effectiveness.
Huh.
Yeah, so this didn't get a ton of press coverage. I'm sure that comes as a surprise.
Yeah, it had a very, very limited theatrical release.
But here's a few people that really liked it. My girl, Kevin Thomas.
All right.
La Times. Actually more tragic than suspenseful, Martin has plenty of graphic, though not lingering gore, and some humor too, but pathos is the essential quality of this modern-day vampire tale. Romero has a mordantly witty, deeply pessimistic vision of the world, which he communicates with strong visual force. Like Samuel Fuller, and especially Russ Meyer, George A. Romero is an authentic American primitive.
What a weird what's the word? A weird person to compare him to, Russ Meyer.
I think he means it, but like Samuel Fuller, I think he means it in that like trailblazing kind of way. Like, we're going to make the movies we want to make, and you can like it or fuck off.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair assessment.
And so,
but I do appreciate that he definitely was like, okay, so he's definitely got like a sort of pessimistic point of view.
Kevin Thomas seemed to like certain horror movies.
Yeah.
And it seems like he liked the weird ones.
Yeah.
Like, he's the reason why Phantasm got made.
That's right.
This is Patrick Taggart, Austin American Statesman. In Martin, Romero has abandoned the gothic nature of his earlier famous film. No unknown forces here, no mysterious radiation, no flesh-eating ghouls who almost can't be destroyed. Martin isn't going to be a classic like Night of the Living Dead because it simply doesn't have the innocence. Kind of ironic. But this doesn't mean that Romero is any less a master at his macabre craft. It's just that the craft has changed. An interesting observation.
Fair. Because by this point, we're like 5 years. Like, I always stake the kind of beginning of 70s horror, the way that we understand 70s horror, the way that Rob Zombie has kind of made icons of 70s horror is 1972, Last House on the Left. Has the same kind of raw realness that this one has.
Yeah. Except that's a more coherent story.
Yes, where woman bites a man's penis off.
Yes, indeed. A mother, no less. Derek Malcolm, The Guardian. Martin asks us to consider what our expectations of its plot should be. Is the boy really a vampire, or just another all-American psychopath? Is he the Guardian? It has some brilliant patches, but is so intent on keeping us on the edge of our seats that it often falls off its own perch. Again, kinda.
All right.
And finally.
Oh, no.
Buckle up. Buckle up, Buttercup. The IMDb user.
How much did they hate it?
I wish I could rate a film with a negative score. Extremely low budget photography, effects, music. This looks like a bad grade in a community college filmmaking class. For those such as myself, who are no fans of the genre, but like Night of the Living Dead anyway, and so you might give this movie a shot. This is word for word, by the way. Stay away. But if you're a Romero fan, you'll apparently like it. So it seems.
Oh, my God.
That last dig is parenthetical.
So it seems. Oh,
I love that. I'm not a fan of the genre. Well, then why'd you watch this movie, you dumb shit?
No shit. Yeah, obviously, like, they scrolled through the list of people just, like, celebrating it. George Romero. And they were like, oh, apparently his fans, in all caps.
It's like, I don't like pornography, but I thought I'd give this Deep Throat a try. See what with all the hullabaloo is about. I don't think you're going to like it.
Yeah, what? These people are sick.
Yeah, but that's why I like doing it. Plus, I get to be really indignant.
The reading of them, it gives me the impression that it's written like a Donald Trump like tweet.
Oh, this one actually is
a lot of random capitalization and quote marks and some parentheses, and
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words capitalized, all caps. We've got a weird parenthetical at the end for some reason.
Yeah. My God.
They do, however, use a semicolon properly, which is really weird.
That is really weird because my assumption is when you read these, there is no punctuation ever.
Very often there is not. This one has what I would call too much.
Yeah, semicolons. That's pretty highfalutin shit. Like, I use a semicolon every now and then, and I'm like, do I really need to do that?
I use them all the time. They are proper.
Good God. Where you at on the M dash? Are there any M dashes in there?
In this? No. I use M dashes a lot.
Awesome. Well, we're going to dive into this here movie right after these messages. Okay, you ready?
Do it.
Here we go. We open on a train station. An anxious young man named Martin watches a woman board. Keeps himself busy on the ride with solitaire before gathering up his shit and turning out the light. Martin snakes his way through the narrow hall of the train.
I like that he walks by down the hall. There's like some guy's arm hanging out the thing, and he like pins himself against the wall to like make it so that like he doesn't even come anywhere near the hand. And I was like, I get it. I'd probably do the same thing.
He's trying to make it so nobody sees him moving around. So yeah, he unpacks a small kit containing hypodermic needles and drugs, drawing some of the drug into the needle before making his way back out into the hall. He arrives at the room where he saw this woman on the platform enter and quietly picks the lock on the door. And he opens the door. The shot turns to a sepia-toned scene where Martin enters the room, finding the woman in a white gown.
Hard cut. It's not the same woman, right?
I don't think it is, because I think it's the same
woman
woman
from later.
Yeah, I think it's the same woman from all of the sort of weird, like, flashback. Is it a memory? Is it a fantasy thing?
Right. And I feel, so this is where a big part of I feel like for me, the problem is that there's so much thrown at us and there's really never any explanation for any of it.
Yeah.
And that's some of it you can sort of, you can figure it out on your own. It's not that complicated, but a lot of it would just benefit from some contextualization. Like, what is this?
Well,
What's he doing?
That is a part of the, I think it's maybe a little early to introduce it in the flow of it, but that really is kind of the function of these scenes is this something that happened in his past, or is this something that's just, this is how he sees these things in his mind?
Right. Because he's not actually 84 years old.
No.
And he's not a vampire.
No.
And so
but you don't
what
know
is
this yet. Yeah, you don't know this yet.
That's true. We actually don't know anything about him yet. This is this first time we see him.
Yeah. So yeah, he finds the woman there in a white gown. She reaches out to him with a smile on her face. And then he busts through the door for real and finds the room empty. He looks around for the woman, hearing the toilet and the nearby restroom flush. She exits the restroom, not in a white gown, but in a green robe with some sort of cream rubbed all over her face.
It's a very interesting moment because they both seem to surprise one another.
Yeah.
And they just stare at each other for a minute, kind of bewildered.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good bit.
It is. He hides behind the open door as she goes to sit on the nearby seat. The door closes and she spots him. And they share an awkward moment before he tackles her and jabs her with the needle.
And this part is interesting. There aren't that many scenes of violence in this because you don't see him kill that many people. But when it happens, they are pretty disturbing moments. Not just because they're violent, and in this case there is sexual violence, or at least implied sexual violence. He's drugging them. There's he's staging stuff. Like, it's really creepy. But her performance is real weird because at first she's screaming like, someone would do if they were being attacked. And then all of a sudden her tone changes really hard. And she keeps yelling at him, "You freak rapist asshole."
Yeah, she's like talking some shit. It's crazy.
But then she goes back to screaming again.
Yeah, you know what I think? I think what makes the violence so effective when it happens is because we, as people watching movies, tend to come to these movies with an expectation of how this violence is going to be carried out, and it's going to be like quick and direct. he's going to be very competent. He knows what he's doing. It's going to happen fast, and she's just going to succumb to it. But they don't. It's clumsy. They struggle. He's she kind of gets the upper hand at one moment, and then he kind of this goes on for a really fucking long time.
An uncomfortably long time.
And
eventually he starts saying, "Don't you understand? It's important to me."
Yeah.
And it's like, this is really kind of creepy.
Yeah, because they struggle in spite of the fact that he hit her with this drug, and it's like, how long does this drug take to?
Yeah, these drugs don't seem very effective.
So, yeah, they struggle as she screams. He begs her to just go to sleep. He just wants her to go to sleep. So she talks some shit as they fight until there's a lull in the battle, and she asks him what was in the needle. And slowly she loses the fight, and he assures her that he's always very careful with the needle for what it's worth. When she's out, he puts her in the nearby bed and undresses her and himself. He pulls his arm.
Do you think so he will get nude multiple times in this movie.
Yeah.
Is this because he's going to assassinate the president?
This is him practicing. These are rehearsals.
Yes. No, do you think he's doing it? Is this part of his ritual, or is he doing this to not get blood on him?
Porque lo nos dos.
Well, I guess it could be.
Yeah, I think it could be both, because also it's implied, though not shown, that he's raping these women.
Yes. Well, yes, in a roundabout kind of way. Because he seems very sexually incompetent.
Yeah, because later on, it turns out that he just wants somebody to be intimate with, to actually just have sex with. He says this to the radio DJ, without having to use the needle, and he finds that person, and it kind of cools him off. Yeah. So I think yes, that's
like when the Green River Killer married that lady.
What?
But the Green River Killer, when he got married, he stopped killing for
that's right. That's
15 years. Do you think she feels good or bad about that? Probably somewhere in the middle, right?
She saved a lot of people.
Yeah. She's like, but also on the other hand, yikes.
Oh God. He pulls her arms around him and puts her on top of him, and then using a razor blade, cuts her from wrist to elbow and lets the blood pour out of the wound and all over him.
It's gross. Even though it is Argentinian blood, it's still gross.
Yeah, it's very Italian blood. It's that shit that's just too thick, looks like paint.
Yeah. I do think the nudity is tastefully shot, at least.
Yeah. It's not exploitative. It's not salacious. It's just sort of like a piece of the, it's a part of the violence, really.
I mean, this whole movie is lit for shit. You can't see anything most of the time, but
oh God, yeah, it's a lot of.
And I was watching it in 4K.
I did not have the 4K. But it is, yeah, everything's either overlit or sharp contrast.
Yeah. Which I think is weird. This is Romero's 5th movie.
Mm-hmm.
5 movies in, he still doesn't seem to know how to make a movie. And yet he's just like, I'm going to do my best.
You know what? I'll tell you what I think it is, because the scenes when he's outside, on the street, there is some startlingly good photography. Mm-hmm. In this really amazing shot compositions, but it's all outside stuff. And I think it's that because he's worked in commercial and industrial, effectively he's a professional documentarian for television.
I saw his OJ documentary.
The Juice on the Loose?
Celebration, I should say.
But I think that because he at this time was really, really good at shooting on the spot in public, natural light, probably with, some light kits and stuff like that. But when it came to having to actually arrange a scene,
it's tough.
It's tough,
Well, God bless him. He made it work.
He figures it out. So when he's done, he clumsily arranges her on the bed and cleans up himself and the scene, and then arranges it to look like she took sleeping pills and cut her own wrists. Then he takes one last look at the room and quietly leaves, returning to his seat. But when the train arrives in Pittsburgh, Martin goes to leave, but sees some women noisily banging on the door of the dead woman's sleeper.
Fuck it, these bitches blocking the hallway. They would love Harvard Square.
Yep. They're distracted by one of their friends who interrupts the scene as Martin squeezes between them all, making his exit. He's greeted on the platform by a man in a white suit named Kuda. He leads him out of the station and onto another platform. Kuda, for the most part, ignores him.
It's so awkward.
It is really awkward. He's named Kuda because the wall on the side of the building, that his grocery store, had that thing that said like Kuda.
Mm-hmm. Makes me think of what they call the Barracuda in The Wraith.
Oh, that's right. Or that sweet heart song.
Yeah.
So they ride along a dreary route illustrated by the passing industrial buildings before arriving at the next station. From there, they walk along still more industrial Pittsburgh near an auto salvage yard before arriving.
Bleak as fuck.
It is a fucked up location. Yeah. Yep. Arriving near an auto salvage yard before landing at an old Victorian house. As the door closes,
I believe this is where Kuda says, "First I will save your soul, then I will destroy you."
Yeah.
I say, yikes. That's a fine how do you do.
This guy is awesome. He's so crazy.
Welcome to my home.
Welcome to my
I'm going to start
nightmare.
saying that to everybody when they come into my apartment.
First, I will save your soul, and then I will destroy you.
Just like that.
Got to roll them R's, though. You got to be real severe with that shit.
All right, well, that's going to be a problem.
Let's work on it. Work on it. You're getting pretty good at saying Eileen's podcast name. So as the door closes behind him, Kuda turns to him and calls him Nosferatu. Well, we cut to...
He also says, "I've been told you are an imbecile." God damn it, man. You're a fucking jerk.
Yeah. We cut to what may be a memory in more of that sepia footage as a priest aided by a small group of severe-looking weirdos perform what appears to be an elaborate exorcism ritual. And this is when he says, Kuda tells him that he will save his soul and then he will destroy him. And then he shows him to his room. And the house is littered.
Now, the thing about the flashbacks, so this is part of why they don't work, is that you could assume that this is part of his psychosis. Yeah. And, it kind of is. Like, that's sort of the way it shakes out at the end. But Kuda is also participating in this and also believes this stuff.
Yeah. So I think the intention here is like maybe a sort of chicken, like which came first, chicken or the egg sort of thing, where he's obviously not a vampire. Okay. He does not believe he is a vampire, but he still behaves as though he is a vampire. And occasionally will be like, I was born in 1890. Like he'll say
because it is implied that he lived with someone else before, like another family member before
whose
this.
job it was to do this very thing, was to sort of contain this evil.
What, just be mean to him?
And be
because they're not containing shit.
No, they're not. They're very bad at this. But like
they're just verbally abusive.
I think that's like a part of it. Is it's all just fucking pantomime. Like it's this thing that everybody in this family seems to believe, but nobody can really explain why. Like, they'll say, like, there's 9 vampires in our family right now. And it's like, what?
There's a lot of vampires.
It's a lot of fucking vampires.
So we dump back into that flashback again. And he's saying it's just a sickness. And it's unclear if he's referring to himself or them, which is a cool moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Because ultimately, the question is, does he behave in the sort of vampire manner because they have been insisting that he is one? Like, is that why his sort of murder ritual is patterned in the way that it is? Or would he even do that if he wasn't, if these people hadn't been telling him,
if they didn't call him an imbecile every day, tell him he's Nosferatu.
Yeah. The house is littered with Catholic icons and the doors have wreaths of garlic nailed to them. In his room, he tells him that he's not allowed to do any vampire stuff to any people in the city. He's also not allowed to talk to his daughter. She'll talk to him, but he must not answer. He also heard...
Not going to work either.
He also heard that Martin is an imbecile. Is this true? He demands to hear Martin speak to prove that he's not an imbecile, but he says nothing. Martin's memory of the exorcism reveals that he resisted it, running from the priest. He follows Kuda downstairs. The old man attempts to close Martin out of his room, but he enters anyways.
Well, he chases him downstairs, which is another interesting moment because Martin is going to be very sort of docile throughout this entire movie. Like, very, again, doe-eyed and innocent, except for these explosive moments. And usually they're violent moments. And this is sort of violent, but they're not always quite, they're not the killing blow that they ordinarily are. There's going to be 2 times that he does it that's not that.
It's almost like with he does this with Kuda, it's like he's trying to just fuck with them or scare him.
Or lashing it. Like, this feels like he's lashing out at him because he's just like, hey, fuck you, man. I just got here. You're being a dick already.
Yeah, also, I'm not an imbecile.
Right. And that is a weird and mean thing to say to me.
So, yeah, the old man attempts to close Martin out of his room, but he enters anyways. Kuda warns him back with a cross, but Martin tells him that there is no magic and that he's not Nosferatu. He's simply his cousin and pulls the garlic off the door, taking a big old bite out of it.
Ugh.
Raw garlic.
So leafy.
Raw
so
garlic
leafy.
with that husk. Oh man.
It's the huskiest.
Never getting that out of your teeth.
No. And you'll be feeling that forever. You're going to be like, oh, remember that time I ate the garlic? That was a bad idea. And I think I got the point across, but Jesus, at what cost?
He grabs the cross out of the man's hands and he presses it to his face, demonstrating no effect.
And he keeps saying there's no magic.
Yeah.
And if there's no magic and there's no God, then what is Martin? And I guess that's sort of the fundamental question.
Yeah. It's just a murderer.
Just a normal murderer.
Just an innocent murderer. So the next day, Kuda opens his store, a grocery store that is apparently very popular.
Yeah, no shit. These fucking ladies cannot wait to get in there.
They've been waiting like all fucking morning.
Also, bunch of bitches.
Yep. Apparently very popular as a crowd of ladies pour into the store behind him, asking about the new guy at his house. These ladies are thirsty as hell, and they love this dude. At first,
except for one of them who's just like, well, related or not, I don't think it's right. And I wrote, that is a bizarre thing to say. To be like, he's going to do sex to her. And it's like, what are you talking about, you fucking lunatic?
At the house, Martin gets into the fridge, cutting up some celery for a snack.
Oh, this is the most stressful part of the entire movie for me. Watching him cut vegetables with that dull-ass knife. First of all, wrong knife to be cutting those with. Second of all, it's extremely dull, and he can barely get through the celery.
Yeah. You don't want to use a paring knife for this.
God, serrated one, no less.
So he runs into a young woman named Christina, Kuda's granddaughter. And she asks him if Kuda is home yet, but he doesn't answer and instead runs outside because, again, he's not supposed to talk to her. He
would be much less off-putting if he didn't lurk around silently all the time.
Yeah, like he's just...
And then run out of the room like Barry Goldberg when she talks to him.
She's always like just in there, like yapping away, like just talking. And he's just kind of like off to the side, just like...
chewing on his fucking finger, man. He's gonna get the flu. And also, like, I feel like the Christina character says a lot about how Romero maybe feels about women. Because she does not shut up the entire fucking movie.
Is true. Maybe she was like that. Like, I can't say. I did not know the woman.
He liked her enough to marry her for 20 years.
And he wrote this character specifically for her.
Well, that does not bode well for their relationship.
It's not long before he creeps back into the house where Christina is making dinner. Stuffed cabbage. Do you like stuffed cabbage? No, he says.
You know what? I'm with him.
Yeah.
I don't think I like stuffed cabbage. I like cabbage. Don't like a stuffed cabbage.
It's all about how you use the cabbage.
Yeah,
this is like
you can't just boil this.
This is Lithuanian cabbage, so forget it.
Oh God, I don't want Lithuanian food. Get the fuck out of here.
So she's super chatty, but Martin sticks to the rules, ignoring her like a creep as she just chatters away. Now, later on, they have dinner. Kuda directs her attention to Martin's eating habits, which don't seem all that remarkable to me.
Yeah, he's just eating food. Again, Kuda's being a real asshole.
Yeah, he's like, look at how he eats. We're looking at him, and it's like he's just like, fork to mouth.
And then he's like, all right, fine. I'm going to fuck with you then and pull out this weird tiny guillotine.
Yep, got a little tiny guillotine and demonstrates the sharpness of the blade on some of that celery. And then he invites Christina to put her finger in the hole. And she declines, and he demonstrates on his own instead. As expected, the blade does not cut him. And she's terribly amused, but then he has to go and make it weird by turning to Kuda and reiterating that there is no magic in this world.
I do kind of like that, though, that he's just like, see, you dumb fuck.
It's just an illusion. Mm-hmm. So in walks a wild Tom Savini playing Christina's
Italian
boyfriend,
stallion.
No mustache. The mustache doing a lot of work for Tom Savini.
Yeah, you got to cover up some of that big ham.
She introduces them. Martin sheepishly exits the room. He sits in his room anxiously playing with his old-timey clown toy.
I mean, look, I feel like in Martin's defense, his existence seems terrible.
It sucks.
He's got this weird old man who's constantly hovering around him, calling him Nosferatu. Mm-hmm. He lives in this industrial plant of a town. Ladies are super mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, my note got auto-corrected to say old-timey clown town.
Nice. Take him to Clown Town, Martin. Everybody talks to him like he's an idiot.
Yeah. And there's a lot of this, because what happens next is he sits there listening to Christina argue with Arthur, like in another room, like he can hear them talking. And this happens a lot. Like most of her interactions with Arthur happen off screen as Martin listens.
Mm-hmm. But you can always hear them because she's very loud.
Yeah. So,
it's because she's on the phone. The phone is kind of a big deal.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, listens. She argues with Arthur about how he never wants to do anything with her. He hears a pounding at his door.
Where do you want to go? Take a look outside. You want to go crush some cars with the neighbors?
They go to that fucking pub in town.
Maybe you've got loose cigarettes to sell to the children.
So here's a pounding at his door, and he goes to check, finding Kuda nailing some bells over the door so they jingle whenever he opens it.
This fucking guy. Unbelievable.
He's unreal. Later, he walks along the lonely streets of town with an armload of groceries to deliver. He arrives at the house and hands off the goods to the lady there before wandering off to the next house.
Oh, well, is this the lady who wants some other work?
Yeah. Yeah. Finding a lone woman there who looks an awful lot like the lady he killed on the train.
And she goes, do you do any other jobs? And she means fuck. She's talking about fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a setup. He could be the pizza boy.
Yeah, so he is. He's the guy from the deli.
So he hangs there awkwardly as she finished dressing and offers to give him a ride back to town. Because that's right. She answers the door with like no pants on.
Yep.
She's horny.
I sort of love this lonely housewife, though.
I do too. I hate her end.
Yeah. It's a little mean.
Because I kind of feel for her. So yeah, he hangs there awkwardly as she finishes dressing, offers to give him a ride back to town. They stop for gas, and she asks for $1 of gas.
I also made note of $1 of gas, please.
Which will probably fill her tank on 1977 oil prices.
When I got my driver's license in, 1996, 7? Gas was $1 a gallon.
Yeah. That's fucking nuts.
Well.
I'll tell you why. Strait of Hormuz was open.
Fucking Hormuz boosh.
Open for business.
My children need a wine and a cheese.
And then she asks for $1 of gas while she explains that her husband is kind of a dick and that she has to log all the miles and gas in this notebook in the glove box.
But hey, he's not around all that often. Hint, hint, hint.
She just chats away while Martin silently sits there like an off-putting weirdo that only we, the audience, seem to notice.
It is very strange how... So people are either super mean to him, or like really rude and dismissive, or they just act like he's not really there.
Yeah, he's
like he could be anybody or anything.
He's not a person to talk to. He's a person to talk at, because she's written a lot like Christine is also written.
Yeah, and she will later refer to him, compare him to a cat. I think she actually does it in this moment.
That's right. Yeah. So when they're done, she drops him off at the grocery store, and he speaks for like the first time in a half an hour, thanking her. And she asks him if he's available for any odd jobs and makes like they're going to work something out on the side later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Martin looks a lot like if you haven't seen the movie, he looks a lot like a working class Peter Brady.
Yeah. Yeah, or Matt Dillon in Over the Edge.
Yeah, like he's not a bad looking guy. He's just so awkward. He's got that like late 70s kind of hippie-ish vibe, like probably into Rush.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like he's a little bit, he's just like a normal dude.
Yeah.
But he's super, super awkward. He's got floppy hair and he's constantly chewing on his hand.
In the house, he tests the bells on the door, trying to open it without making a sound. Christina argues with Kuda, who is her grandfather, about what he just told her. Presumably, he made some remark about Martin being a vampire, and she thinks he's nuts. She also thinks...
I think this is where he says that he used to live with someone else until she killed herself. Right?
I think it's
the woman he lived with kills herself, or
I think she
that?
just died.
I mean, could Martin maybe he could just live by himself?
Maybe.
Maybe he does, because these people don't seem to do anything for him.
Yeah, they just give him a place to live and be shitty to him.
Right.
Like they act like they're being put upon. Like he's a burden.
Yeah, he could easily go live at the Cecil Hotel. Meet some friends.
Yeah. You check into the Chelsea.
Don't drink the water, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, no.
What, too soon?
Oh, Don Piano.
Oh, Don Johnson.
So, presumably he made some remark about Martin being a vampire. She thinks he's nuts. She also thinks that Martin is nuts, but the fear surrounding this kid is informed by old world beliefs.
And this is a super weird interaction she has with him, because she's essentially continuing the argument that she had with Kuda, not so much with Martin, but like in his presence. And she's just like, you're just crazy. You should live in a hospital. It's like, hey, lady, cool it. Come on, man. You're being rude.
Yeah, Kuda tells her that Martin was born in 1892, and this is a family curse, and Martin is just one of 9 vampires. So that night, Martin cleans up after dinner, and he and Christina talk, and he's glad that she doesn't believe in all this nonsense. But then she asks him how old he is, and he tells her that he's 84. And she wants to help him. This family is making him crazy, and he's playing into it. She wants to take him to a doctor or have him sent to a home or something.
I mean, look, is it a bad idea? I don't know. Maybe not.
He could probably use a little help. I guarantee that he doesn't have a whole lot in the way of the sort of social skills necessary to live on his own.
Yeah, his life skills are limited.
So a recurring point that comes up is Christina's desire to have her own phone in her room. And Martin tells her that he'd also like a phone. So the phone company comes and installs 2 more phones.
And she gets the phone basically just so she can yell at her boyfriend.
The first thing she does is call up Arthur and yell at him.
Yep.
Their relationship is on the rocks because he doesn't seem to pay any attention to her. So Martin takes a train into Pittsburgh and walks around the streets at night, coming to a sex shop.
Squonky saxophone.
Apparently, this is like Richard Rubinstein's work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Donald Rubinstein.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Different guy. He did, mostly shit for George Romero.
Gotcha. Yep. He comes to a sex shop where the dude at the counter delights him with this crazy toy that looks like people fucking under the sheets.
And I can tell you, Martin's getting himself a little too worked up in this sex shop. It's not a good place for him.
No, he stepped in there and it was Bonerville from the first step.
He's going to laugh it off, but later he's going to fulfill his needs.
So in the day, Martin is back in the grocery store, hanging nearby while a woman buys some groceries, enduring a barrage of catcalls from the dudes hanging out by the door.
What I don't like about this particular moment is that these are the only people of color that we see in the movie at all.
I know.
And they're a nuisance, essentially. Like they're, just being shitty kids. It's like, oh, I get it, but also, come on.
I know. He follows her home, watching her from across the street from the safety of an ice cream truck. And he approaches the door and presents a note which reads, upside down, "I am deaf, please help."
And so this is when I think we get the first look into the sort of pathology of this, because up until this point, we've seen him kill somebody, and quite badly, but also For some reason, this reads different. This feels like a serial killer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because he goes through the entire process of of hunting her.
Yes.
So,
like, it's not an impulsive act. It's not like he has this ploy that he kind of uses. And it's a very different thing. And for all of a sudden you're seeing Martin as something a little bit different. Like, he's not that doe-eyed little weirdo.
Yeah.
He actually is a predator.
Yeah, it's fucked up. So her shithead husband hands off some change to him. And that night, Martin climbs...
That was a lot of money for them.
So buy a whole full tank of gas on that handful of change. Oh, what does he say? I only give to organized charities.
Shouldn't do that either.
So that night, Martin climbs the brick wall of their house and looks in on them while they sleep. He scouts out the house, locating the phone line. In the morning, he watches the husband leave from the bushes and then heads into town. He buys what looks like a walkie-talkie and then takes it back to the woman's house, using it to open the automatic garage door.
I think it's just a universal... Like, I think they probably just work on a universal frequency.
Yeah, probably. And as he enters, we see more of Martin's fantasy cam where he imagines the woman welcoming him into the house and playfully leading him on a chase.
And now this is the part where I feel like, they're going to make a pretty liberal use of these flashbacks. And you can tell that they probably figured pretty prominently in the original story.
Yeah.
And that Romero probably liked them quite a lot. Because they're artful, they're nice, whatever.
Yeah. Also, the interior of this house is fucking crazy, and it looks
like
really nice in that sepia tone shot.
Yeah.
Reminds me of all of the weird sort of esoteric sets from the Holy Mountain.
I was going to say, it reminds me of the sepia stuff from the Beyond.
I also have a note in here about how it reminds me of the Sepia Beyond footage.
Yeah. And so you can tell that he likes it, but at this point, you need to do something. You need to explain some of this to us in some way or another. And we have had a little bit of insight in that he has said that he also believes what Kuda believes to a certain extent.
Yeah, I think the impression that I get from these scenes is Romero intended them to sow doubt, but he's leaned so heavily into the into this notion that he's already defined very clearly that Martin's not a vampire.
Right.
So
and that's going to be the problem for this movie is that you've already established that you do not want us to think that he is the vampire of yore. Mm-hmm. Like, he is not a monster in that sense.
Yeah. So these scenes don't really they don't play much of a role anymore.
But that doesn't mean that they couldn't have been. And I think that's the thing about the movie that kind of bugs me is all of this shit on its own actually works really well.
Yeah.
But when you put them together is when it gets really murky because it's all contradicting itself now. And so we don't know, can he not distinguish between the past and the present? Does he think that this woman is the same as the woman in his fantasy? Is it even a fantasy? Is it a memory? Is this just establishing some backstory for Martin? We have no idea, and he's not even going to bother to give us any indication one way or another. No. I think that's kind of what the reviewers were getting at, is they're like, there's something here, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what a lot of this is.
Yeah. In reality, Martin has brought his bag of tools. Attempting to turn the light out, he hears a woman coming to the garage, expecting to find her husband there, and he hides out until she leaves and then lets himself into her house.
Ooh, boy, this is going to be a hilarious farce that goes on for a really long time. It is, and it's so long. The scene goes on forever.
Yeah. In the bathroom, he prepares another shot as the fantasy resumes in this crazy-ass mansion. In the real world, Martin lets himself into her bedroom, finding her naked in bed with some dude who is not her husband.
Yeah, my note is, this is a real pickle, isn't it, Martin?
The guy, thinking he's her husband, tries to talk the situation down until she tells him that she has no idea who this guy is. So
Which could have been a really fucking awesome moment of terror, but because he's going to play this for comedy, that moment kind of just falls flat.
Yeah.
And then Martin does this insane flying leap across the room.
I love it. Martin leaps over the bed and injects the guy with his needle and then runs out of the room, closing the door behind him.
And now we get like 5 minutes of this couple just freaking out about what's in the needle. And then he's like, you got to call someone. And she's like, I can't call anybody. And she's like, do you have a friend I can call? It is a very funny moment, but it's also really stressful.
It is. Oh my God. Because again, yeah, like it's like the train struggle, but with like a heavy dose of comedy.
Yeah.
And the thing is the comedy does not feel out of character with this movie so far. There's an absurdity to this movie that's just in the carrier tone of the whole thing. So that when he kind of busts it out for this kind of Benny Hill show moment, it still feels natural.
And unfortunately, I do think it goes on a little
way too long. Way too fucking long. So he listens to them freak out from the hall until they come bursting out. The guy wants her to call somebody, but she doesn't want to, as this guy's not even supposed to be here today.
Exactly. Like, I feel like this is one of those moments where you really just gotta do it.
Yeah.
You gotta cash your chips in, lady.
You bite the bullet or it's going to be bad. Eventually she relents and tries to make a phone call, but Martin is on the other line, just punching in random numbers as she dials, so it can't be completed. And for some reason, the phone like carrier is on the floor and she keeps like stepping on it to sort of zero it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a very odd, I think that's probably more just for the visual of it, but yeah. It's very strange to watch him sort of very casually sort of finger the dials.
Yeah. The dude eventually realizes that Martin might still be in the house on the other line and goes to check. He steps.
But also, how big is this fucking house?
Apparently, it's huge.
Because like they can't. They're running around. Well, she's kind of just in the bedroom. The other guy's like running around the room or the house, and Martin is like nowhere to be seen, even though he's just sitting somewhere in the house.
Yeah, they have 3 phones. They must be rich.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet they got one of those ice makers in the door too, the refrigerator.
And a novelty Garfield phone.
Oh, if only.
Yeah. The dude steps outside to have a look around, and Martin leaps out and locks him out. With the guy handled, he loads up another shot and runs back upstairs.
I think this is when the tone of this scene changes again. Mm-hmm. Because once he is alone with her, it becomes very sort of effectively tense. Like that, the humor drops out of it. And he is now sort of a menacing presence because he sort of rips the phone out of her hand. And even though he is a very slight guy,
he's
quite
very
young,
powerful.
He is very imposing in this moment because you know, and she knows that he's going to do something terrible.
Yeah. So, yeah, he leaps into her room, chases her into the closet, hitting her with the needle. She collapses.
Another flying leap.
She collapses on the floor, and he blocks her into the closet until he realizes that the guy is just out there still running around. So he loads up another shot and unlocks the back door. The guy jumps back into the house, and Martin hits him with yet another shot and then runs away, hiding in one of the rooms.
Another flying leap, too. It's a third one.
He's practiced. He works on that.
The whole scene is like this weird, awful, protracted tragedy where like it's chaos and you just feel weird and gross by the end.
But the thing is you're anticipating the drugs taking effect at some point.
And they don't.
And they take so long.
And even once they do, like they're not like out cold. They're just kind of sluggish. Yeah. And it's sad.
Oh, that's another thing that made me wonder about the sort of the Martin effect is he keeps saying like, just go to sleep. But we have seen him do this twice now and they don't. It's like he has to fight and struggle with them every time. So does this happen every time he does this?
What's what I'm saying is he needs to get his fucking money back. It's not working.
His drugs suck. So the drugs finally hit these two. The dude drags himself around the house helplessly while she grabs the phone and dials numbers, unable to form a coherent thought. She reaches someone, but finds herself unable to form words. And the guy finally passes out. Martin makes his move on her. She's conscious as he once again begs her to chill out and go to sleep, assuring her that he isn't going to hurt her because of the guy she was with. So again, there's some weird pathology here that's not really explained because I don't think he actually hurts the woman.
Yeah, I mean, they don't show it. So if he does.
Yeah. In the night, he drags the guy's body out into the yard, angry that he was there to complicate matters. Breaks a stick off a nearby tree and jams it into his neck, drinking from the wound.
The guy is alive when he does it. It's really unsettling.
Yeah. In the fantasy or memory world, we see Martin found, feeding from the woman in the gown. He runs out into the street. High contrast shots of Pittsburgh by gaslight, cobblestone streets, Model T cars, beers in jars, and a toddler.
Not at all the fucking dumpster we see in the daylight.
We hear a conversation between Martin and an unidentified person talking about the way people see him and the fear they have for him.
And so I think this is probably how they retooled the narration.
Yeah.
Because this probably fills that gap.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. In the dream,
and he's the DJ. He's the guy. He's been on the radio the whole time. Mm-hmm. Like, this guy's voice has been in this movie the entire time you've been watching.
Has he? I thought he was new to this.
No.
Oh, okay.
Every time the radio is playing, this is what it's playing. It's playing his show. And she's like, he's on all the time from 6 to 6.
Yeah. So in the dream, a gang of people carrying torches come for him as he cleans up. God, that's right, because there are all these moments earlier in the movie where he's listening to the radio while doing like housework and stuff. And then like Christina comes along and shuts it off, and he turns it back on.
Yes, and okay. The DJ is a good. It's gonna be kind of a meta thing. Like, you know, it works okay. It's not great, but it is a good way of sort of conveying his loneliness, because this is really the only person he actually talks to.
Yeah, he's like a confessional that way. Mm-hmm. So in the house, he takes a shower and then returns to the woman, undressing her, kissing her, presumably rapes her, and then he goes around the house picking up after himself and setting things right. He explains to the unidentified man that this is the only way he can be close to somebody. And when he's finished, we find him at home talking on the phone. It turns out that this whole time he's been explaining himself to a radio DJ, and that DJ implies that he, who he calls the Count, has been calling in to more or less confess his crimes. And then the DJ informs him that the phones are lighting up at the station. People have so many questions. Would he consider coming into the station? And Martin hangs up.
And obviously the DJ doesn't take him seriously.
No, he
just thinks he's like a crank.
Yes, it's another freak who calls in. So on Sunday morning, Kuda wakes him, gives him shit about not going to church, and then he drags...
How bad is that? He's going to be mean to Martin and make him go to church.
Oh, at the worst fucking church in Pittsburgh.
What, the one that's burnt, like bombed out?
Yeah. They go to the service, folding chairs in what looks like a warehouse room. The priest, played by George Romero, explains it all away with some expository dialogue that their church is being rebuilt after being burned down.
I feel like George Romero is like Stephen King in that they both had the same haircut their entire lives.
Yes.
Just this like weird sort of pseudo shag cut.
Yeah, I love it. But also, just like Tom Savini, the beard did a lot of good for George Romero.
Yeah.
You got to have the facial hair.
Yeah.
When Mass is over, Kuda...
If you got a round face, you just gotta.
Yes, you do. A little too much jowl.
Yeah.
When Mass is over, Kuda talks to Father Romero, while the lady that we saw Martin delivering groceries to earlier talks to him. Then a man impatiently drags her away, presumably her shitty husband.
Yeah. Martin still doesn't seem to get that she is, how shall we say, bored and lonely.
Yeah. So the next day, Martin goes to do some repairs on her sliding door. She loads up her OJ with some vodka and then makes a weak pass at Martin, which frightens him and causes him to run away.
She's a lot like Allison Janney in Drop Dead Gorgeous. It's really just putting it out there.
That night they have dinner with Father Romero. They talk about the previous priest who Kuda loved. The priest tells him that he retired, but Kuda seems to think that he left town because, and I quote, "this town is finished."
So put a pin in that, but also I think it's interesting that he's now adding a new element to the story, and that is this kind of old world, new world belief system.
Romero's priest is a fascinating character to me.
Yeah,
because
and it sucks that he just leaves it open, and that's it.
Yeah, it's so wild because it is two superstitious fronts colliding over like this common idea, and like it's so cool.
And so what I think might need a little contextualization here is that this movie is made at a time when the Catholic Church did not do exorcisms. They did not believe in any of this stuff, not outwardly.
No, but it was a big part of Vatican II, which was like really in the transformative phase. We are right around the corner from Jean Paul II, which is like a huge transformational period for the Catholic Church.
Right. So if he's going to go to anybody and say, I need an exorcism. Any priest, anywhere, bishop, doesn't matter who it is, they would go, we don't do those anymore. Like, that's not a thing that we actually do anymore. The church is just trying to move forward to be more relevant in people's lives. Like, that was literally their position, is we don't do these anymore. Until someone comes along and makes a horrible film about an exorcism. And then wouldn't you know it, by the 1980s, everybody needs a fucking exorcism. The church is like, well, maybe we were a little hasty. But I do think it's very interesting that he chooses to include this as like, there's so much going on here, because Romero's priest is sort of like, oh, yeah, but that's not real. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And Kuda, of course, is very offended by him. And there's so much that could have been done with this, and it isn't.
Yeah.
And that's my other frustration with this movie, is there's so much shit that he introduces in the movie and then just sort of bails on.
Yeah, it's not explicit enough, and I think that this is a very powerful idea that he could have done a lot with. And so Father Howard, his real name, is a real casual and chill dude for a Catholic priest. Seems to be more into the food and wine than Kuda's nervous conversation, which inevitably turns to devils and demons. And that's when he's like, that's right. We used to really be into that sort of thing.
Like, I think this one is on us. Look,
So
I don't know what you've heard, except I do. Not real.
So he hand waves it all away, mentioning another priest that he should talk to, and then playfully brings up The Exorcist. He's like, hey, have you seen that movie, The Exorcist? It's pretty funny, right?
Everybody seems to think so.
So Martin looks through an old book of photographs, hearing the woman from the memory of fantasy call to him. And he looks to the door expecting a woman, but it's Kuda and that other priest that Father Howard mentioned. And he flashes back to the exorcism as Kuda and this priest prepare for an exorcism of their own.
This is probably the weirdest scene in the whole movie.
Because they put them side by side, and it's the same
thing.
They
do. It's the same scene, and yet in the present day, this exorcism scene, by contrast, is so starkly different. Because the other one, it's languid, it's rote, it's just like the guy is sort of just saying shit. There's no energy, there's nothing to it.
In the sort of old-timey one, it's like there's so much pageantry, there's a bunch of people playing roles. It's in Latin, which makes a really huge difference, because in this one, it's just this old man reading from the book in English, and it's boring as fuck.
And he has it's flat, it's monotone. And the power of Christ is not compelling me.
No. Martin, presumably bored, just gets up and runs away. And
the priest just keeps going.
As if nothing changes. In the night, Kuda walks through the foggy streets, nearly getting hit by a car. Martin follows him from the shadows, wearing a big, exaggerated vampire cloak.
He's so playful.
I love this scene.
I feel like he's coming into his own.
He wanders into a park where Martin silently reveals himself in white makeup and plastic fangs.
Now, this is actually, I think, one of the coolest parts of the movie.
I do,
too. But again, he's not going to do anything with it because go on.
Yeah. So Kuda falls to the ground, waving his rosary at Martin, which causes him just to laugh at him. So Kuda gets up and just hits him with his cane while he laughs, and then Martin gets serious, spitting the fangs out, tells him that it's just a costume.
And I think, because this moment, like the moment where he chases him down the stairs and yells at him in his bedroom, these are very striking and effective moments. But they really could have done something more narratively. Like, they don't really serve the story in any way other than to remind us of who these people are. But it's like, that's what the whole fucking movie's about. Like, you don't need to remind me that he thinks he's a vampire and Martin is just a serial killer.
Yeah.
And so there is something cool that happens here, because what happens when Kuda gets up is Martin goes to turn to walk away and he hits him with the cane. And Martin spins around and grabs the cane out of his hand and then spits the teeth out.
Yeah.
And it's one of those menacing moments it increases this tension. And really all that happens is he looks at him and he's like, it's just a costume. And then he walks away. And it's like, well, then what the fuck? Why did you bother?
In the day, Martin wanders around town by himself, by the filthy train tracks, by the wrecking yard. He delivers more groceries to the lady who made a pass at him, and she's pretending nothing happened, but he admits that he was spooked and would actually like to have sex with her.
Yeah, he refers to it previously as the sexy stuff. And I was like, well, that's why I can't take any of this seriously. If anyone ever said that to me, I'd be like, nope.
Yep. So they do. And we see the aftermath. She lies motionless on top of him, almost clinging to him.
Yeah. And this could be, again, I like that Martin's very upfront with her. He's like, hey, I'm real bad at this. I don't really know how to do it. And this could be a good turning point for him. Unfortunately, what happens is she gets real serious and emotional and messy. Martin, you gotta get out. You gotta get out now.
You're in danger, girl. When they're done, he gets dressed while she cries on the sofa, and he assumes that he had something to do with it. They don't seem to address the problem, but the conversation turns to her being unable to have children and that she likes having him around because he doesn't seem to think too much. That's what she's like.
Lady,
that's what she's
why
like.
Is everybody so rude to him?
That's what she's like. It's like having a cat in the house.
God damn it.
At home, he finds that Christina has taken down the garlic from her door, and that at a nearby bar, Arthur has drinks with Cuda. And Cuda's trying to get him to leave town, his argument being that this town is doomed, and he's not wrong.
And so, again, this is an interesting moment about, like, wanting to get out. And in this scene, this really does have that kind of small village vibe, sort of a la Dracula et al., where, like, they go into the inn or whatever, and everybody's drinking, and it's like, small town, dangerous, don't go out at night kind of bullshit. But it doesn't go anywhere.
No.
I mean, it does in that Christina leaves, but, like, that's it.
Yeah. At home, Christina waits on the porch for Arthur. Martin comes out, tells her that he thinks Arthur sucks because he makes her feel bad. And then she has a fight with Cuda about the old world beliefs being such a bummer. She tells him that she's leaving with Arthur, and then she says that she doesn't even love the guy and definitely has no plans for having vampire babies with him. He's just her way out of town.
Hey, I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do, girl.
Gotta flee.
Mm-hmm. This town is just one big underground tire fire waiting to happen.
In the morning, as she's leaving, Christina promises to stay in touch with Martin, which he doubts. He tells her that people always leave just to get away from where they were. And this leaves Martin alone in this house with this maniac.
Cut to that awful bitch at the deli.
Martin
screaming at him like she's the Pope of Chili Town.
Yeah. They say he carved that spoon from a bigger spoon. Yeah, Martin and Abby, the grocery store lady, are hanging out more and more these days to chill out in the tall grass outside of town. She seems to be extremely depressed, wanting whatever it is that he has that makes it so easy for him to not feel. At work,
it's sociopathy, lady. That's what that is.
At work, the ladies from town just yell at Martin, telling him that he's lazy, and they all say they all work so hard around here.
It is a truly bizarre moment.
Which makes me wonder, are they employees or are they just customers?
I think they're just customers.
So yeah.
They're like, we're a real hard-working community. It's like, not by the looks of things, you're not.
Oh, he follows the lady home who yelled at him. And then he calls the radio DJ and tells him that he follows them home but lets them go without any violence. He sees the guys who hang around and harass the customers and feels no urge to hurt them.
He says none of the ladies look pretty, which is interesting because it's very revealing in that it implies that he is sexually motivated, even though previously he had not indicated
Yeah.
that. This is simply a thing he does to survive, when the reality is he does not. He lacks the ability to connect with people emotionally. That's why he does not have relationships with them. And so the only way he can have sex with them is to essentially kill them.
Yep. Just be a proper necrophile.
Yep.
I mean, Jesus Christ, it's Jeffrey Dahmer almost.
Pretty much.
Jesus Christ, yeah. He worries that this is all culminating in withdrawals from the blood. And then he thinks that having sex with Abby is maybe dulling his need for it. In an alley, a bunch of bikers give him a hard time. Follows a pair of them home, but again, does nothing to them. He worries that the growing anxiety might make him sloppy when he does crack and eventually kill someone. And Martin finds a pair of very drunk homeless guys in an alley and beats them to death with a pipe. Then he grabs
and what I like the one of them, he keeps hitting him and the guy still has the cigarette in his mouth the whole time.
He grabs a piece of broken glass and cuts one of the men's arm open, drinking from the wound. And because they're so drunk, I assume that he got drunk off the drunk blood.
That was my thought as well.
And it reminded me of What We Do in the Shadows, where they were like,
yeah,
we drank a bunch of blood from people who were on drugs, and now we're on drugs, and now I am a wizard.
Shots, shots, shots.
So in a panic, he breaks into a nearby clothing store to get rid of his bloody clothes and sets off a burglar alarm. The police
This scene escalates real fast.
This is another one of those like crazy moments of absurdity.
Mm-hmm.
The police are on their way as he dresses in clean clothes, and he's reminded of the mob from the memory/fantasy at the bar at the police as the police enter.
I do like the analogy of the police as the sort of modern day torch wielding mob.
Yeah. They get him at gunpoint, but he runs, trying to lose them in the labyrinthine store. Martin manages to get outside and hides out in a garage where a bunch of guys appear to be running a counterfeit jeans operation in their car hole.
What, out of their car hole? Just the illegal chop shop.
The cops bust in and a gunfight ensues. Huggy Bear.
This scene is so fucking weird.
It's wild.
Because he looks like Huggy Bear.
Huggy Bear ends up shot by the cops while some of the other bad guys get the drop on the cops. And everybody except for Martin is getting killed until there are no survivors.
I love that it was just like, well, Martin's got to get away pretty easy here. How do we do it?
Yeah.
Chop shop.
Yeah. Martin flees to a public restroom. You know what this reminded me of? There's a moment. It's not really in the movie so much as it's a rather big part of the book, but there's this moment in American Psycho where Bateman seems to go on this like fucking rampage.
It's the end
in the financial district where like in the book, it's this like huge like 4-star wanted level GTA sort of thing where like he's being chased and there's helicopters and everything's blowing up. It's like that where like all of a sudden this movie just has this moment where there's a fucking gunfight where literally everybody except Martin gets killed.
And in the next scene, so he flees there and he runs into the bathroom, like some nearby bathroom. It's the same bathroom that he goes to at the train station, but it can't be.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they would have had to take that train to get to where they are.
True.
So it can't be the same train station, but it is.
Unless...
Because it's the same guy.
Oh, that's right.
And now there's another guy there, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Martin flees to a public restroom where he cleans himself up, washing off the blood while a couple of homeless guys take a dump in doorless stalls behind him. We see Martin on another train. In VO, he tells the DJ what he did and that Christina definitely forgot about him. We see him at the slaughterhouse for chickens. It's some real rough shit as Kuda is picking up presumably chicken. He feels terribly alone, like he shouldn't have friends, and the DJ assures him that he's okay. So he goes to see Abby and finds her dead in her bathtub, having cut her own wrists.
It's real bleak.
It is fucking sad as hell. He calls the DJ to tell him and insists that he didn't do it, which is ironic because that's kind of the way he does it.
Yeah. That's what he does at the beginning. He sets it up to make it look like suicide.
Yeah. He continues to tell the DJ that the movies get vampires all wrong. Vampires all have ladies in the movies, but he has 0 ladies.
Again, it's kind of the thesis. You know?
Yeah. Reminded me of that meme, Charlie Brown had hoes. So people out here will tweet anything. Charlie Brown had hoes. No, he didn't. That isn't true. So he
it's cogent.
He has 0 ladies. In real life, you can't get people to do what you want them to do, which seems like the movie's kind of central point.
Yeah.
He finds a parade marching through his neighborhood and rushes out of the house to follow them up the street.
And apparently this was just this was just happening in the neighborhood, and they were like, get the fucking camera, get out there.
Yeah, I love it.
It is interesting because it does sort of reinforce that, like, he wants to be with people but doesn't know how.
Yeah.
And so here he is just sort of walking among strangers trying to fit in.
There's also a weird sort of childishness about him in the scene too.
Yeah.
So now Kuda finds Martin in his bed. He found out about Abby's death and thinks that it was Martin who did it. Martin wakes up just as Kuda hammers a stake into his chest, killing him.
You don't see that coming.
Nope, it happens very suddenly. Roll credits. And then as
feels like the right way to end.
Yeah, I don't know how else they were supposed to end it. But as the credits roll, we hear the DJ fielding calls from listeners who want to know where the count went. And then we see a freshly dug grave behind Kuda's house, and he spreads grass seed over it and buries a cross with him.
Huh. How about that?
Yep.
It's a real tough one to pin down.
It is. It's so weird.
It's so incoherent. It moves so fast from one thing to another, and they're not really connected. But I think one of the things that really jumps out at me is that there are all the pieces here of a really, really good movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It seems like he got it all a little bit muddled, and they didn't have the money or time to make it work.
Yeah, and they were trying to pare it down from a much bigger movie with a much
different
with an entirely different vision to it. Yeah. It's that the thing that I keep thinking about is that this is such so much unlike his other movies. Like there is not another George Romero movie that looks like this, but it still feels very much like a George Romero movie.
Yes, it's an extremely thoughtful movie.
It's thoughtful. It has
maybe a little too much.
Extremely dark sense of humor. It's fucking bleak in the way that a lot of his movies are bleak. But at the same time, like we said up top, it feels like an art movie. It feels like a French New Wave movie.
And it's unfortunate that it's a little it's not a little, it's a lot unclear what he's trying to say. It gives this very nuanced and so like sort of sympathetic vampire story, but it's never clear to what end.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to take away from this? I know what I'm taking away from it, and it's more or less what you've given me, but like, it's very unclear why he's telling us this story at all.
Yeah, because usually when he does like a concept movie or like a movie that is riding on a concept, he's way more explicit and way more blunt in that expression. In this, it's like he's thinking about something, but we're not really sure. I think like a lot
there's shades of Bergman here.
Yeah, like there's something in here that I think just ended up cut. That would sort of, I think, would contextualize it in the sort of greater scheme of George Romero's like just way of thinking.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of it is a little too abstract. Like he wants to be arty. He wants to be a little bit playful. It's like those things don't always work together.
Yeah. I think that
you want to present this kind of big, thoughtful, kind of academic narrative and give us this kind of dark comedy. And it's like, they don't always go together.
I think that Night Riders was another sort of attempt at this kind of not necessarily this sort of like a movie, but that he was trying to do something that was a little closer to his sort of original vision for where his career was going. I think that like if he had never made Dawn of the Dead and if he didn't keep getting dragged back to zombies, I think more of his independent stuff would have been like this.
I would have been very interested in that because unfortunately what he does go on to do outside of the zombie movies is sort of like
his like we've complained at length about his more commercial turns
because it's not what he wanted. But this is all of that said, this movie is a serious vibe and like murky narrative aside, it is super interesting and really compelling. And even though it doesn't make a ton of sense in the end, and you're kind of left being like, what? Right. It's still like, I'm real glad I watched that movie because it's fucking weird as hell and really interesting.
It's so good. I do enjoy it tremendously. But like, again, I'm in the same spot as you where I'm just like, I can't put a finger on, I can't zero in on why. I just think that it's him. I think what it is it's Romero, one of my favorite directors, at his most pure.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to leave you with a movie that you're going to keep thinking about, good, bad, or indifferent.
I come back to this one every couple of years, like hoping to find something new. And I don't necessarily find anything new, but I still enjoy watching it. So doing something right.
Yep.
All right. Stuff. Well, Martin, in the can, what's next?
Well, speaking of good stuff, corn rigs and barley rigs. Next
barley
week,
rigs and Martin rigs.
We are going to celebrate the most fertile of seasons with The Wicker Man. And then in 2 weeks, this here show, we're diving back into David Lynch's oeuvre with Blue Velvet.
Oh, I can't wait. That's one of my favorite.
It's one of my least favorite.
No shit.
It's been a very long time since I've seen it, so maybe I will have come around.
Okay. Well, we'll see you next week with corn rigs and barley rigs and Martin rigs.
Woo! Barley rigs and Marlin rigs.
Get to the Wicker Man. Get down some real Christopher Lee realness. And then in 2 weeks we'll be back. We'll be back with Blue Velvet.